A Vort from the Rebbe on this week's Parshas Chayei Sara. In Parshas Chayei Sara, we learn about Avram Avinu buying the Moras and Machpelah in connection to the death of Sara. We see an interesting thing here. Leibel had promised Avram Avinu earlier yet that he will give him Eretz Yisrael. And it says Avram Avinu even, Leibel told him, Ishalach Boras La'orkro, the Rochbo, go the length and the breadth of Eretz Yisrael, and by doing that, he will become Eretz Yisrael. And nevertheless, in the open, revealed way, in actuality, there was nothing that we saw that Eretz Yisrael became his. But when it came to Moras HaMachpelah, to Sara's burial, there is the first time that there was something that happened that showed that Eretz Yisrael belongs to Avram Avinu, and B'meila belongs to the Eden. And as the Pasuk says, that the field of Ephraim Machpelah was picked up to Avram Avinu for a sale, and Asher says, it was elevated. It went out from the hands of a simple person, and it came into the hands of the king, which is Avram. So by the Moras HaMachpelah in connection to Sara's burial, that's where it actually came in actuality, that there was something physically and realistic way that Eretz Yisrael became Avram Avinu. So it's interesting that till then, it didn't happen. It was his day, which they gave it to him, everything, but in actuality, there was nothing that showed that it was his, that people could see. But from the time of Sara, when she had to be buried, this happened. So the Rebbe says, the reason for this is like this. One of the differences between the man and the woman is that a man could have all kinds of great ideas and should come up with ideas and all kinds of things, how the house is supposed to behave, etc., etc. But to bring it down, the Maisa B'Peil, to actuality, that's a job of the wife. As the Gemara says, that a man brings home wheat and brings home other types of food, but who prepares it that it should actually be able to be eaten? The wife. And the Gemara even says, the Loshen, Nimtza, that Meiro Einov Mamida Ose Al Raglov. She lights up his eyes and she puts him on his feet, which means that to use the food that the husband brings, that the wife does. That's what the mother does. And the Rebbe explains the Pshat in the Maimer Chazal, Leizu Isha Ksheira, Sha'isir et Sein Baila. Posh Pshat means, who's a real proper wife? If she does the will of her husband. And the Rebbe says it means a little bit deeper. Not only she does the will of her husband, she is able to do, in actuality, what the husband has in his will. Because the man doesn't necessarily have that koyach to be able to bring it down to actuality, but the wife does. And we see that also between Rivka and Sara. Leibel said to Avram Avinu by Sara, whatever Sara tells you, listen to her. And she was able to actuality, to be able to see the difference between Yitzchak and Yishmael. Rivka was also able to see the difference between Yaakov and Esav, because the woman has this koyach of bringing it down into Maisa B'Peil. And B'Meila, the same thing happened here also. B'tzad Avram Avinu, Eretz Yisrael was his and was given to him, all fine and good. But it didn't come down into Maisa B'Peil, into actuality. It's only in connection to Sara, this is what happened, that it came down into actuality, that a piece of Eretz Yisrael actually belonged into Avram Avinu, which was even known and seen by the Goyim, that they saw that this became something special, this became Avram Avinu's place. The lesson from here is that this is how every household is supposed to behave, that the husband is supposed to have the ideas and supposed to know what is right and what is wrong and give all kinds of ideas, but how to bring it down B'Peil, that's the job of the wife, that she's able to bring it down into Maisa B'Peil.